5 on 5. We're pleased to be joined by Senator Ron Wyden at our KOTI studios in Klamath Falls. Senator, let's start with today's Klamath Basin Restoration Agreement and the signing. That's why you're in Klamath Falls. How significant is today's event?
It's huge, and what a great triumph for the community. After decades and decades of tremendously divisive discussion, folks really came together and came through. I'm especially pleased that our hearing that we held in late spring last year was a real catalyst for folks looking at some new approaches to try to reach out, and we had a special task force, and they significantly cut the costs to the federal government and produced some real agreements that I think are going to stand the test of time in terms of water sharing, habitat restoration, and then economic development for the tribes.
Well, what's the next step in the process? Is it law now, or does Congress have to approve?
What will happen now is early in May, I will, in partnership with Senator Merkley, introduce federal legislation to, in effect, put this agreement into law. It, of course, has to be carried out by a number of agencies, really led by the Department of Interior, and the legislation will go to the Energy and Natural Resources Committee, where I'm the senior Democratic member. I've made it clear to the bipartisan leadership how important this is, and I and Senator Merkley are going to make an all-out push to get this through the Senate this year.
Okay, well, some Southern Oregon residents are concerned about the Jordan Cove LNG project. You're a supporter of this. What do you have to say to them?
My message to them, and it's the same to all of the stakeholders, is that we Oregonians always look to try to find common ground where we can come up with new approaches for high-skill, high-wage jobs and protect our environmental treasures. So I've made it clear that I'm going to work with all those environmental folks and landowners and others. And of course, they can go to the Federal Energy Regulatory Commission, which will play a key role in these issues. We'll help them do that. But I think given how hard hit the coastal economy is, this is an opportunity for high-skill, high-wage jobs. And of course, natural gas is 50% cleaner than the other fossil fuels.
And what about those whose property is being directly affected?
I'm going to work closely with them. They are key stakeholders in this. Certainly, if you have property that's going to be directly affected, we want you to know that you can come to us. We will work with you and the appropriate agencies to make sure that you, as all the other stakeholders, are fairly treated.
Very good, Senator. We're going to take a quick commercial break. Stay with us. We'll be back in a moment.
Thank you.
Welcome back. Again, we're joined by Senator Ron Wyden at our KOTI studios in Klamath Falls. Senator, how will your chairmanship in the Finance Committee help your tax reform plans, or will it?
It certainly will give us a big boost. I have the first bipartisan federal income tax reform plan in more than 30 years, and it really goes right to the heart of what the Southern Oregon economy needs. For example, I have a paid-for middle-class tax cut, so that if you made $50,000 or $60,000 in Southern Oregon, more than $30,000 would be put off limits from the tax collectors through an increase in the standard deduction. We really target the relief for small businesses, and what we do is take away the tax breaks for shipping jobs overseas and use those very same dollars to reduce rates for people who are creating good-paying jobs here at home.
Yeah, and another issue Southern Oregonians are watching very closely is, of course, timber. Is there any movement in Congress with your timber plan and Congressman Walden's timber plan?
I'm very encouraged with where we are with respect to the ONC lands legislation. Congressman DeFazio and Congressman Wyden both have, I think, tried very hard to make sure that their concerns are part of the debate and have done so thoughtfully. Congressman DeFazio and I have worked very closely together, and I'm very hopeful that we will have a joint product with the Oregon House members and Oregon senators very soon.
Very good, Senator. Unfortunately, that's all the time we have. I want to thank you very much for joining us.
Let's do it again soon.
All right. Thanks very much. Stay with us. We'll be right back.